Hello, everyone, and welcome to this installment of the Daily Cannon Tactics Board. Stephen Bradley here for once. Hey, miss me? Hey, we're back, and we'll be bringing you, all the preseason games coming up over the next week or two because football starts again. Even though the Euro final is tonight, as you can see. Yes, Irish accent, English shirt, but long story. But yeah, we were hoping to bring you, profiles of new players as they came in, but the first one only got signed yesterday. Yay! So apologies for the break in content, but we're back, and hopefully this video will be the start of a lot more coming because new games, new players, etc. coming through. And yeah, if you like this sort of content, please feel free to like the video, comment if I've missed anything, if you saw something of the player we're focusing on today or the game that we focus on any time. And if you do want this content in your inbox on a regular basis, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell at the end, and you'll be notified when this comes into your inbox. And yeah, look, let's get straight into it. Nuno Tavares, a new left back, or should we probably say after last winter's catastrophe when Kieran Tierney went out, an actual left back. It's like, yeah, he's got cover, yay, finally, and you're like, oh, and his profile is quite good. Like he's an attacking fullback. He gets forward a lot, and he hasn't started many games for Benfica, hence the lowish price that Arsenal paid for him, about £8 million. But he's a promising player. Like his passing statistics, especially his XG, are good. He gets into the box a lot. He beats his man, at least once a game, which is fantastic. It says it here, the successful dribbles, which is fine. Like, he's clearly, to put in context, not that comparing types of players, but if Kieran Tierney is the 2004 version of Ashley Cole, then Nuno Tavares is Gael Clichy. He's back up. He's the successor lying in wait. He's the underling. He's plan B. And that's fine. Like Arsenal have needed at least a facsimile of Kieran Tierney's skill set since they bought Kieran Tierney, 2 years ago. And losing him just before the biggest part of the season and having to play Granit Xhaka at left back was a nightmare. It worked to an extent, but when we saw it come up against Villarreal, it just didn't work. Arsenal missed that width on the left. So having someone that you can slot in immediately as a replacement and go, right, he's the number two. He does a lot of similar things to Tierney. He can play right back as well occasionally. He will be a good squad player. He is good backup. He is good plan B. But the more I looked into it, the more I started thinking. Because, yes, Nuno Tavares is a good player. I like the fact that he's come to the club. He's an exciting prospect. But just with this signing, and hopefully with the potential signing of Ben White as well, I wonder if Arsenal have something up their sleeve in terms of tactics. Because we've seen throughout the Euros a lot more teams go back to playing five-back formations. We've got them, looking at systems that push fullbacks on a lot. We're seeing that with Mela for Denmark, Goossens for Germany, Spinazzola. I know he played left back in a 4 for, but stuff like that, and even Luke Shaw and Kieran Trippier for England. Like, there's a lot of attacking wing backs playing right now, and it's starting to affect the way football is being played again. It happens every couple of years at a major tournament where a new plan is devised to get round the old system that was working. It's like in a video game where there's a meta, and then people go looking for a meta breaker, and then that meta breaker becomes the meta. So like if in Call of Duty, a certain submachine gun is working really well, then people will start using snipers. People start using snipers, then people will start using more shotguns to hit the people with snipers. Like it's constantly changing, and we had for years 4-4-2, that was replaced by 4-2-3-1, which was replaced by 4-3-3, which is now replaced by almost a 4-3-2-1, which is very narrow, the Liverpool system as it is now. And the Barcelona system with overlapping fullbacks. But I wonder whether this change to 3 at the back with wing backs is going to be the new thing. And if it is, then Arsenal are quite nicely placed to take full advantage of it. Because, as we can see here, as it comes up on my other screen, Tavares has played a lot at both left back, but Benfica play three at the back. They played three back against us. They played three at the back against Sporting Lisbon. I know Grimaldo played this game, but Grimaldo is another player who can play both left back and left wing back. And if Tavares is going to be effective, he needs to get into this position more. And if we just go to our tactics board here, if Tavares is going to be playing there and Partey's here, then you're probably going to end up playing Saka here, just so that you've got this going on. And then Maria's left foot goes there and Chambers can come up, cover over, and then Pepe drops back a bit. Saka comes in, and then away you go. But as you can see, I've left this as a blank because I just want you to pause the video for a second and just... What player is Arsenal missing here? Just have a think for a sec. What player is Arsenal missing? Is it a centre mid? Is it a centre attacking mid, or what? I'll pause for a second. So I think the missing player here is Kieran Tierney, because I think Arsenal are going to go back to three at the back. I think Arsenal's squad lends itself to playing three at the back, and if they're going to be buying Ben White for 50 odd million and keep Holding and keep Mari and keep Gabriel, who is injured right now, then with Chambers at right back, I think that's the play, because Tavares now would go here. Tierney would slot into that left centre back role, which he's played for Scotland many times, and he's played for Arsenal many times as well. Mari would go here. Holding would go here. But if this is, let's say, best case scenario, what would happen is Holding would play as the centre back. Ben White would play exactly where he is for Brighton, and then Callum Chambers would be here, basically doing, hopefully reenacting his Cafu impressions that he did against West Ham last year, and then Partey and Smith Rowe. Because, how many centre midfields do you need if you've got three centre backs? You've got Partey, you've got El Neni, who's probably going to stay. Danny Ceballos is gone. Granit Xhaka is pretty much gone. They definitely need one more centre midfielder at least, and that'll probably be Lokonga, the promising young talent from Anderlecht. But this squad is so malleable. It's so, so many players can play in so many different positions that the more you look at it, the more you can go, right, okay, if this is the way Arsenal would play if they were away from home. But if they're at home, would you... And I'm going to contradict myself here, because I said all throughout last season that the last thing I wanted to see was Saka there. But if you got Ben White here, and Holding here and Tierney here, then Saka can do this anytime he wants, and you can have that. And then Smith Rowe can play on the left, and then this can be Lokonga, which would be fine. Or, if you're me, that's yes, please. And then suddenly you've got Saka, Smith Rowe, and Pepe doing this, with Tavares bombing on down here, Tierney sitting in, White and Holding, Saka playing wing back, and then suddenly you can have something like this going forward. The possibilities are endless, and I do think that we're going to have to get used to watching Arsenal play with a 3 again, just because the players fit. And all the talk of buying James Maddison for 60 million, which I really don't think is a good spending of money, especially when our I always sound like a pirate when I say his name, Hassam Aouar. But this would be a better midfield, a fantastic strike line, and even if, let's just say, you want Tierney there, and Gabriel gets back fit. Is anyone going to complain against that? Anytime Tierney goes forward, fantastic. Even if you wanted to keep it nice and solid at the back while they're attacking, Saka can always come back. We know how, versatile he is. Gabriel can play left back a little bit, Holding and White there. And then, and whenever Saka goes over, White can go and fill in at right back. And then you can do this. Like, it's so... The fact that you can go from left to right, almost swinging over like almost like a boat riding along a wave. You can go from side to side like one of those... What's the word? A Newton's cradle. The ping, ping, ping. One of those executive toys that makes men cringe every time they see it and just go... Ah. Like, this is what Arsenal can do. And... I genuinely think this is what they're going to do. And to do that, you need players that can play in 2 or 3 different positions at all times. And Pepe has shown he can go to the left a bit. Smith Rowe can play in around there. Hell, even, if you wanted to, if people were fit, you could do this. As long as Aubameyang was in there more and Tierney pushed on. And then even Lacazette could go deep. Is anyone going to complain? I think... Now, I could be completely wrong here, but I think long term, Arteta is looking at this team, looking at this squad, and going, 3 at the back suits us. We're a little bit more stable. Won an FA Cup playing that way, but it just needs better players to play better football. And he was limited by the talent that he had, that he could play positionless football like he is, that this would entail. And maybe I'm just being hopeful, maybe I'm just being optimistic, but the signing of Tavares for me indicates a willingness to buy players in multiple positions so that Arsenal can play multiple formations in the same game. And sometimes Gabriel will play, sometimes Tierney would play. Well, Tierney's a nailed on, but sometimes Tierney could play inside as a third centre-back so that Tavares could play as well. If Tavares wasn't fit and you still wanted to play 3, you could play Saka at left wing back and take Gabriel out and play Tierney there. Like, if Ben White wasn't available, you could play Gabriel in the middle and then Holding, and then this would be Chambers. There's so much, toing and froing, so much ability to switch and swap without losing the shape of the team that I don't think someone as clever as Arteta will look at this and not think it's a good idea. So, yeah, that's my summary of Nuno Tavares signing at Arsenal. I think it's a good one. And I think it shows that Arsenal are planning long-term to play 3 at the back, personally. And yes, there will be occasions where playing both left-backs at the same time isn't what you want to do, but we've done it before with Chambers and Bellerin on the right. I just think that he's trying to turn Arsenal into a team that can attack multiple systems with the same 11, and then go, right, I'm going to play 4-2-3-1, and then if this isn't working in 20 minutes, I can change to 3-4-2-1 and not change any of the players. And if that is the case, and I very much hope it is the case, then pre-season is going to be a madhouse of experimentation, and I am full for that, because this team needs to, if this is going to be the team's identity, that it can play 3-4 systems just at the drop of a hat, then I'm all here for it. So, yeah. If you have enjoyed this video, again, please leave a like, a comment if you've got any thoughts or opinions on what you saw here today and whether you change anything yourself. And if you do want this content in your inbox on a regular basis, hit the subscribe button. We'll be back either whenever Arsenal play their first pre-season game, which is in a few days, or if they sign someone between now and then. But until then, good luck. Cheers.